Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 4 selections for tomorrow's horse racing action. Before I get into the tips for tomorrow's racing, just want to apologise for not doing a video on the YouTube channel over the last few days. If you've seen me on social media, you might know that I've actually been up to Musselburgh and to Edinburgh the last few days. Went to the racing there on Wednesday. Really enjoyed my first ever visit for the track. Very underrated one, I think. It wasn't necessarily the best action you're ever going to see, but still, nonetheless, I had a good time. We had a few winners, and yeah, I hope some of you saw the nap that we put up as well. Home St George's was my nap of the meeting, and he absolutely hosed up in the last for Ben Bromley and Stuart Crawford. So yeah, good time up in Scotland, but back to normal service now. Got some really good racing this weekend at Doncaster, Aintree, Wincanton as well. Some really good horses on show, and hopefully we can have some winners. Now, my first tip tomorrow we're going to go to, it's actually going to be my nap of the day, which runs in the listed race at Doncaster. And no surprise here to go that I'm going to go with Art Power for Tim Easterby and David Allen, currently available at 9 to 4. I thought this one was quite a big price, to be honest with you, and should be closer to even money than 9 to 4. I think if he turns up anywhere near his Group 1 form that he ran last time out when he finished 8th in the British Champion Sprint Stakes, he should be far too good enough for these. He likes the ground. He's got a really good record in Group 3 and listed company, so that shouldn't be a problem at all for him. I think he actually ran a good race last time out. He actually finished third on his side of the group. Kim Ross came down the near side and wasn't maybe necessarily on the right part of the track. But yeah, I think this horse at this kind of grade, I think he's far better than these. He's got to give £5 to Comanche Red and some again the likes of those rivals. I don't think they're nowhere near in the same ballpark he is. I think if he's even 80-90% near his best, I think he absolutely bolts up and takes this with ease. I can't believe the price of him. If I was pricing him up, maybe the opening price, I'd probably have him up at 6 to 4, but I think he could definitely go off a lot shorter tomorrow. And there's even a case he should be even money. I really feel strongly about him tomorrow. Don't see too many problems. Track should be fine, and for me, he's my best bet of the day in the 12.50 at Doncaster. We then go with my next best, which runs in the 150 at Wincanton, and that is Frodon for Bryony Frost and Paul Nicholls. 11-4 here, not a very original selection, but this horse, again, he should have quite a lot, I think, up his sleeve. Obviously, he's come in here instead of going over to Northern Ireland, where he won the Group 1 champion chase over there on the card last year, down Royal. He's come here for the better ground, Paul Nicholls says. But with a mark of 158 in this company, I think he can be more than competitive. I think he's the one they've all got to beat. We know he's got a good record in handicaps in the past. He kind of came up through that route on his way to winning the likes of the Ryanair and the King George. He ran Cheltenham carrying some big weights under Bryony. And I think if he goes to the front tomorrow, I think he just might be able to stay there. We know he's a fantastic jumper, going right-handed as well is no problem. Kempton isn't a too dissimilar track to Wincanton, so the track should be absolutely no problem for him. We know Paul Nicholls likes to target this meet and he likes to target this race. I just didn't think there was too many horses in here that had a bit up their sleeve, and we know he's going to be fit and primed and ready to go tomorrow. And for me, I think he's got a really good chance, and Paul Nicholls as well has been on fire the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I think Frodon can definitely make his class prevail here. We then go to my long shot of tomorrow, which is in the 2:11 at Aintree, a horse called Spiritofthegames for Harry and Dan Skelton. Currently available at 7 to 1. Sky places an offer with SkyBet there. I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection. Now, this horse, Spiritofthegames, he hasn't won for an absolute age. However, I thought there was more to like last time out when he finished second at Fakenham. I don't think that was a bad little race. That was over 3 miles, which he probably just doesn't stay that trip. But he's always been a good jumper. And I thought he actually ran a really good race over these fences back in the spring, back in April when he finished 5th. He's always been a good jumper, and he always seems to plug on at the end. And the ground could just be a bit testing tomorrow. And I just thought some of these at the top of the market, I think they just won't like these fences. And for me, it could just set up for Spiritofthegames. Skeltons seem to be getting into top gear now. They've been having a few winners this week. And for me, I just think he can make that experience count. And off a mark of 137, if he can build on that promising return at Fakenham, where he might have just needed the run on that occasion, I think he's a dangerous player back down and trip, and that's why he's going to be my selection there. My extra tip of the day runs in the 324 at Kelso, a horse called Gentleman de May for Craig Nicol and Rose Dobbin. Really interesting horse this. Currently available at 7-2 with Bet365. I'm going to recommend a 1 point win bet here. Makes his handicap debut tomorrow off a mark of 104. Now, he's not been seen since he won at Ayr last season, but he was a very comfortable winner, and he does have to carry 12 stone in this race, which could, on paper, be a tough ask. However, Rose Dobbin does very well with her small string of horses, and I think this horse could be quite a progressive one. He ran well in the point-to-point before that, where he finished second, but I think he could potentially be better than a mark of 104. And I think if they thought that he I reckon if they thought that he could go well, or my last selection, then, I'm going to move to the 324 at Kelso. My extra tip of the day, Gentleman de May for Craig Nicol and Rose Dobbin. Really interesting horses, currently available at 7-2. I think they'll have no issues with this horse carrying top weight whatsoever. They could have maybe gone for a higher grade where he would have been maybe competing off a lower weight, but I think they think he's more than capable of carrying and defying the top weight here. He's making this handicap debut from I say of 140. He won at Ayr very impressively last season, and I think there could be a lot more to come from him. He's only a 6-year-old as well. Looks quite an exciting horse. Did well, like I say, at Ayr, finished second in point to point. Rose Dobbin seems to have her horses in good order at the moment, and for me, I think this horse could be a class above these in this pretty average, weak-looking handicap. So that's why he is going to be my extra tip of the day in the 324 at Kelso. So they're the 4 tips then for tomorrow's racing. Let me know in the comments box below what you're going to be backing tomorrow. If you're enjoying these videos, well, please remember to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe here to the YouTube channel at LuckyLoaders15. Please remember to gamble responsibly. I'll be seeing you again soon.